Hi, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates, and I'm the author of Managing Abandonment Issues Through Recovery. And I just hadn't sent out a video in a long time on the issue of abandonment issues, and since my book is out there touching people and reaching people about abandonment issues, this is the 11-month anniversary of the first day I sold the book online, and I just wanted to sort of revisit the book, Abandonment Issues, and discuss, give some more clinical examples of progress of people who have abandonment issues. So the video today is called Managing Abandonment Issues Through Recovery Revisited. So we're revisiting that topic after 11 months. The book sales have been great. The book's done a lot better as a first-time author, getting books out online than I thought it would, and I've just been thrilled. I get little emails 2, 3, 4 times a week, sometimes twice a day, saying from ClickBank that people have bought the book, and it just gives me joy that if I wake up, somebody in Australia has downloaded the book. I have sold a lot of books in England and in Australia, and I've also sold books in Scotland and Greece and Canada and all over the United States. I think there's several other countries too, but I don't remember. So let me discuss abandonment issues. If you've come to this video and you're not clear on even what abandonment issues are, it's basically overreacting to the real or imagined distancing, mainly of the person that you're in a relationship with, your significant other. But really, you can have an abandonment reaction with a client, with a friend, with a parent, with a child. There's a lot of ways abandonment issues can come out and show themselves, but it's where somebody steps back and your reaction, somebody without abandonment issues, it's this big of an issue, but for somebody with abandonment issues, you know, it's this big, it's huge. And there's emotional reactivity and overreaction and name calling and all kinds of drama going on when somebody has an abandonment issue. So I'm going to give you 5 examples from my work of people who are making progress, and they're working hard, and all of them are sort of in a different place with their recovery and with their progress, and they're in different situations. But I just wanted to give you a picture of what that looks like. So one fella, we'll call him Joe, and he's been working really hard on himself for a couple years. He's sort of a man's man. If you'd have told him he'd have been in therapy for 2 years, you know, he'd have told you you were insane. And he would frequently have abandonment reactions where he would feel rejected and hurt. His wife fears engulfment, so he has done so much better just understanding abandonment issues, so he doesn't get triggered. She can say something critical or distancing or not warm and fuzzy, and he can sort of hold his water, so to speak. He doesn't have to leave the room, look pouty. He might tear up a bit, but that's vulnerable. That's awesome, actually. So he doesn't have to go into a hopeless spiral about, you know, discussing divorce or that kind of thing. So not only knowing the concepts of abandonment issues, but healing some abandonment wounds through the work in his marriage has helped this Joe become healthier, kinder, less reactive. So Another client I'm working with, really haven't been working with her for years. It hasn't really been that long, but just getting the paradigm of what abandonment issues are can just make such a huge difference. This is a couple where, we'll call her Sue, where Sue would become reactive 2 or 3 times a month, and it would be ugly, and there would be drama, and she'd feel rejected and unloved and not special. And just the insight into her abandonment issues has helped her to not react. And I don't think in the last month there's been any ugly incidents that I'm aware of. So not understanding your abandonment triggers is like walking around in a room of darkness and banging your shins against the furniture and getting blood everywhere. It's really a hurtful thing. And learning the paradigm about what abandonment issues are and where they came from is like somebody switched on a light switch. You don't have to bloody up your shins anymore. And that's what's happening with Sue. Is her husband also understands abandonment issues quite well, and he's able to name it non-reactively. She's able to own it, and we've probably seen a 70% reduction in reactivity just from having the insight. So a fella, we'll call him Ed, who came to me in sort of a marital crisis, had massive abandonment issues, was just torn up from abandonment issues, was abandoned in horrible ways, both in childhood and in relationship. But in the very first session, where I got on my little soapbox and discussed, there are no victims, you married the right person, you were abandoned severely in your childhood, and you picked a dating relationship where you were abandoned severely, and now in marriage, and boom, this guy got it. He got it, and his whole aura changed. He went from angry and bitter and, scary to somebody who was safe and enlightened and thankful and grateful. Now, he still has some work to do on assertiveness. He tends to sometimes avoid conflict for fear that his wife might abandon him, so he's got work to do in that regard. But again, some people can really shift their lives quickly, just understanding about their abandonment issues. Stephen Covey said that if you want to help somebody quickly, change how they think, change their paradigm. So with this fellow, the paradigm shift was stunning, and I am quite sure his marriage would be over without the paradigm shift. He might even, have had some rage come out and gotten into some legal trouble. But for many people, the issue that gets them in trouble is rage, but they really don't have a rage issue predominantly. The main issue isn't rage. The main issue is abandonment issues and then feeling victimized, and that spirals and it simmers and it boils over and it becomes rage. But their main problem historically hasn't been rage. It's been, walking around bitter and victimized, and then fueled by the rocket fuel of some pretty intense abandonment pain. So I don't want to paint an unrealistic picture. Abandonment issues can't be healed, some maybe 30%, 40% over a lifetime. My book isn't called Healing Abandonment Issues, it's called Managing Abandonment Issues Through Recovery. It's great that these people, their insight level has helped them to function in a healthier, safer way. But working on abandonment issues is really tough. and I call it the most painful emotion known to mankind, and I'm right about that. So I have a lady who just came out of a breakup, and she's devastated. She's very sad, she's tearful, she's sort of isolating, and she just didn't know that there was that much pain down inside her. She was always fun and in control, and so dark days. And when you get really strong in your recovery, what happens is you can't numb out like you used to. If you used to numb out with alcohol or food or, sex or relationships or television or work or whatever, you're so connected to yourself and the pain is so strong, you can hide for a little bit, but then your pain keeps coming back up, which feels miserable, but it's actually wonderful. So she's been doing what I call deep processing, and deep processing it's just having a lot of really good cries and letting your pain flow through you. Picture a Coors Light commercial with the beautiful spring, in Colorado, just bubbling down the valley. That's how pain should flow through you when you're doing really excellent deep processing and recovery work. For people who get in a victim mode, their pain is more like a swamp. It smells, and it's algae everywhere, and there's mosquitoes, and it's dismal, and it's dank, and it's dark, and there's no hope. Whereas when you have a good cry and you're working on your stuff, you feel clean and flushed out after your good cry. And so I'm encouraging her to be thankful and grateful and positive, and to not be bitter, and to not blame the fellow. He was what she recruited him to be, and the work in her that Mother Nature is doing, that God is doing, if you will, he was a tool to really help her do work. Now, she might call him a tool in a bad way, but I'm talking about calling him a tool in a good way. So, and then there's a couple, I'll call them Steve and Mary, and they've been working for several years, and their ugly reactive fights are down, probably 60, 70%, 80%. They're still coming to therapy, but they don't come as often. And they tend to want to avoid the pain. We sort of goof around the first 10 or 15 minutes avoiding pain, but issues always come up and come out. And but this is probably a relationship that would have blown to smithereens, would have blown apart and been over, had it not been for the work that they're doing on their abandonment issues. So, if you want a quick fix where all the pain goes away and you heal your abandonment issues and live happily ever after and go get in a really healthy relationship, I got a bridge to sell you, out in the desert, because it ain't going to happen. This is not the nature of abandonment issues. Progress is slow, and it's very painful, and a lot of people would rather go get high or get drunk or work their brains out and not face off with their abandonment issues. The pain of abandonment issues is especially difficult in relationships. That's where it hurts the most, because you'll pick people who abandon you in big ways, medium ways, small ways, many ways. So I do encourage you to download my book. You can find it on our website, familytreecounseling.com. I will put a link up in the background on the video where you can find, it's called a pitch page, where it just has tons of information about the book. There's a radio interview, there's a bunch of other videos, there's a lot of writing, there's testimonials. Everything you need to know about that book is on this link that I'm going to put right at the bottom here. So But the book is $14.95, but it'll be the best $14.95 that you ever spend if you're in a lot of pain from your abandonment issues, because it'll flick the light switch on, it'll give you perspective, it'll help you not to react, to overreact, it'll keep you from pouring gasoline on a fire. When you get reactive, you're pouring gasoline on a fire, and your spouse does the same with you. So that will help you to pour water on the fire instead of gasoline. So I will check in from time to time with you about this issue of abandonment. It's a passion of mine. I am so blessed to hear back from people all over the world who have found significant relief and blessing from the book when it comes to their abandonment issues and their relationship issues. And I plan to have that book out there helping people and revise it and for many, many years to come. So I am a little slow on my shame book. I had hoped to have it out this month, but I have been ill, and I will get it done before the holidays. So thank you for watching today. I hope you get a handle on those abandonment issues and have more clear sailing and more peace and better communication and empathy in your relationship with your significant other. So God bless.